banks, stock exchanges, the whole world financial system is a giant machine for the purpose of bringing about unnatural scandals, according to Aristotle's expression, to force money to produce money, aka usury. So it's a giant debt-based usury fiat system. So he's giving him a lecture in the exact same thing that Quigley says in the first 200 pages here. And basically explaining the Federal Reserve System, right? He says that it's all based on shams and interest, and then more and more shams and more money printing, and this is where we get inflation. And the money's all fake. And he says, bear in mind, the system I'm describing is one of the most innocent among those used for the fabrication of money. Imagine, if you can, a small number of people having unlimited power over the possession of real wealth, and you'll see that they are the absolute dictators of the stock exchange. And they will also be the dictators of production and distribution and work and consumption. If you have enough imagination, then you can multiply this by the global factor, and you will see that it is anarchical. You will see its anarchic moral social influence. It is revolutionary. Do you not understand? In other words, the fiat money system itself is the revolutionary system. Did you hear that? What an amazing admission. Again, maybe this is not an authentic document, but it lines up with what Quigley says. Fascinating. And so he's arguing something that's just, again, blowing the mind of the NKVD interrogator. He's arguing that the money system that exists is not the enemy. It's not the enemy of the Marxist revolutionary. The money system is revolutionary. It is Marxist, he's saying. And this is blowing the mind of the interrogator. And he says that you could think of it like a kind of miracle. It's money, it's value, wealth created out of nothing by the money printer go brr, brr. And he says, did you read your Trotsky? He says, because Trotsky admits it. Gabriel says, well, your view is, it seems faulty because finances as defined by Marx, and more especially by Engels, are determined by capitalist production. Rakowski says, no, it is exactly the opposite. The capitalist production, the capitalist system of production is determined by finance. It's the other way around. The fact that Engels states the opposite and even tries to prove this is the most obvious proof that finance rules bourgeois production. And so it was, even before Marx and Engels, that finances were the most powerful instrument in revolution. And the Comintern was nothing but a toy in the hands of finance. However, neither Marx nor Engels will themselves disclose or explain this. In fact, you have to go to Trotsky. And he says, Rakowski says, Gabriel says, well, this isn't new. Didn't Trotsky say this? And Rakowski says, tell me, when did Trotsky say this? And Gabriel says, well, he said that the Comintern is a conservative organization in comparison to the New York Stock Exchange. He points out that big banks are the inventors of the revolution. Yes, he says this in a small book in which he foretells the fall of England. And he says, who pushes England along the path of revolution? It is not Moscow, it is New York. Did you hear that?